City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. Hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. Today we're putting a bow tie on Season 4 of City Spotlight. Here on Season 4 of City Spotlight, we welcome 3 new communities this season: Toledo, Casey, and Oakland. And on this episode, this Season 4 season finale of City Spotlight, we're going to take a look back at some of the things that we featured here on this season of City Spotlight. We'll show these in the chronological order that they appeared here on Season 4 of City Spotlight. Last July, we aired a feature on the Charleston Community Band as they celebrated their 40th season of playing music in Charleston. And then in August, we were in Marshall for the night out on the National Road as we talked with Dick Gustafson of the Marshall City Band, as the city band there in Marshall was in their 142nd season of playing music in Marshall. Next, last Labor Day weekend, we were in Arthur and we got our fill of cheese there at the Amish Country Cheese Festival. Then in October, we aired a feature on the opening of the new John Booz & Company wood manufacturing facility in Effingham. City Spotlight was there for the grand opening, and we got an inside look at this state-of-the-art facility in Effingham. We then head back to Arthur and a look at the Arthur-Lovington Atwood-Hammond Band. Last December, we caught up with ALAH Band Director Richard Moma to talk about the growth and recent accomplishments of the ALAH Band. And to conclude this episode, in April, we got a behind-the-scenes look of the Paris High School Drama Club as they prepared for their production of Mary Poppins. Hope you enjoyed this Season 4 season finale of City Spotlight. We'll get things going here on this episode with a look back at a feature on the Charleston Community Band. Thanks for watching City Spotlight.
My dad started the band 40 years ago, and I was happy and drafted to be part of it. So for my whole life, band has been part of our family. My dad thought that band was an important part of the community, and so he tried to bring the community together during the summers by bringing a bunch of volunteers together to play twice a week.
I guess it's pretty thrilling. I never thought about it when I started 40 years ago, but it's pretty exciting now to know that it's been such a wonderful experience for 40 years. I look forward to it every year.
We traveled all around the town. We played on the square, we played at the nursing homes, we played at the different parks within the city, and then we had the white, some say the white elephant over by the stream, but you know, it served its purpose and for several years.
The addition of the band shell and the amphitheater seating has been a wonderful thing. The city was very good to support us and to provide the facility. Mayor Kogel was very active in seeing that was taken care of, and he's played in the band a number of years. So having a community that will support an activity this size and for this length of time is really unique in the state of Illinois.
Somewhere along the way we lost all of our flute players, and Mr. Dahm asked me if I had a flute, and I said, yeah, I have one out in the car. He said, well, would you mind going to get it? So that began my flute and piccolo career with the community band. I've been with the Charleston Community Band for about 39 years. The camaraderie of being with all these people and experiencing so many different levels of musicianship. We have people that are in their teens who are just starting out. We have people that were professional musicians who are now maybe retired, who are playing in the community band, and people who are just playing for fun. And it's wonderful for everybody to get together, and everybody's on an even playing field. We can learn from each other, and we can teach each other as well. And really, the Charleston Community Band is about community. It's about bringing people together, bridging the gaps between the middle school, the grade school, the middle school, the high school, between the musicians and the community itself and the university.
I started teaching in the school district with John Dahm in the fall of '78 after I graduated from Eastern, and started with the community band that summer of '79. This season has been very eventful. We've had great crowds. We've had lots of musicians. We've done songs that we've played from the beginning and new songs and everything in between. Every year we have musicians that come as far north as Champaign and further, even up as far as Kankakee. We have musicians that come from as far as Windsor and that way, south of Greenup and Newton, that area. We have had musicians that have played with us every 40 years from all those areas.
Parents and children playing in the same ensemble. It's truly a community band. It's a good opportunity for the younger students in the school system to sit next to some stronger players, to see some of the stronger literature.
The Charleston Community Band is a completely voluntary band. Everybody is here because they want to be here. They volunteer their time for rehearsals and for performances. Our audience really has a connection with all of us. We see so many of them year after year after year, and they're always here early. They line up and they get their chairs in place and they are ready to be here with us. And again, that's community.
It just feeds one's enthusiasm for playing because you know these people are coming and they really enjoy it. And when you're playing the music, you enjoy it, but it's multiplied when you know there are people who enjoy hearing it.
You enjoy playing for people, and the more you play for, the more enjoyment, I guess. But we'd play if we just had 30 out there.
When you look out and you see all the crowd that's here in the amphitheater and on the hills, it's just very humbling and very awesome both. It gets your adrenaline pumping and you just want everything to go real well.
My dad came in and he saw the rock and he saw the name on the amphitheater. He basically broke down crying because he finally realized after so many years that people actually appreciated what he was doing. He knew in his heart that it was an important thing to do, but to see the community give back to him, put the name on the theater, put the name on the rock, that was just a wonderful gift to my father. Everybody knew my dad as the band director, and they maybe didn't know his name, but they knew he was the band director. And even to this day, I'll have people that are older than I am come up and say, you know what, I remember your dad. He really helped me through the hard times of junior high, and I will always appreciate what your dad did for me when I was young. And so you're right. The community knows my dad is the music man, but they know him as a guy who basically made a difference in people's lives.
John served the community for many, many years. I had John as a band director in junior high. So I have known him for a number of years. To know him as a teacher and to know him as a colleague has been a wonderful experience for me. The man dedicated himself to music in the town.
He loved the marches and he loved having all of us here, no matter how well we played. It didn't matter, but because we were here and he was committed to us and we were committed to him. And I think he has meant a lot to the community for years.
I would hope to think John would be very proud of the group and the legacy that it is continuing. I know that I am very proud that the musicians have continued to support this along with our sponsors and the community that comes out every week to come and listen to our concerts. I think it speaks volumes that we do have the crowd that we do, and we have the musicians that volunteer their times and talents for this event. And it's an honor that it's gone on for 40 years, and I hope it goes on for another 40.
The band started in 1875. It started out as a boys band, an all cornet band, and it's been through many incarnations through history. They added clarinets and woodwinds as they became more popular, and it's been in continual operation since then, 142 years.
You guys perform on Friday nights during the summer?
Friday nights during the summer, we start the first Friday in June and then usually the second Friday in August. Most of the players are from Marshall, but we have some that come from Indiana, Terre Haute. Got a couple players this year from Paris, Illinois. We got a guy that comes up from Robinson. We draw from a wide area. We've been around long enough, we're well known, and we draw some pretty good musicians. As far as the age goes, our oldest gentleman, I believe, is 80 this year, and his first chair in the clarinet section. He's still a really good player. Our youngest player is going to be in 8th grade.
This is a major part of the community.
Right.
People look forward to it, like with events like this, the Night Out on the National Road. What does this band, what does it do for this community?
Well, it provides a little bit of summer employment for some of the school kids. It keeps some of us older people active. You know, we come out, we still play, keep our chops up. The city supports us. They use the bandstand as the icon on their letterhead. Right. So it's pretty important to the city. Friday evenings we get a good crowd every Friday. We usually have ice cream socials from various organizations. You always hear the kids running around and having a good time while we're playing. So it's a worthy thing to do. It gets people out of the house in the summer, and they get to hear a little of the old music that they don't you wouldn't hear otherwise.
And that bandstand behind us, you mentioned it's on the brochure for the city of Marshall.
Yep.
Talk about that bandstand and what a unique playing platform you have there.
Well, that thing was built, oh golly, I couldn't tell you exactly how many years ago. Our old band director that I had for years and years, he and his father built it. They were in the masonry business, and they put that thing up, oh gosh, a long time ago. And it's been there ever since, with occasional refurbishings, a little bit of paint, that kind of thing. But been there a long time. Jerry Forsyth last year paid to have it completely refurbished. It's been repainted, some new soundboard in it. It's in better shape now than it has been for years, but that thing's been there a long time.
What do you get out of it most? Is it the music? Is it the players? Is it all of the above?
All of the above. I like seeing the kids that come in from the junior high and the high school, and they learn to play a little more music than they get to do at the school. I like to see how they progress. It gives me something to do, obviously, and I really enjoy playing. So it's all of the above. But yeah, it's real important to my life, and I think a lot of people that come out for the band, it's important to a lot of people. It just keeps going, and we never have to scramble around looking for musicians. We always have people come. We've always got a full group. It's just been a great thing for the community, and for all these years, it's just really held up well.
In 1973, this town got to celebrate 100 years. And they had a huge celebration for it. And it was so good. It went over the span of like 5 days, where the festival is just 3 days. But it brought so many people to town and so many visitors to town and was great for businesses. They decided they just wanted to keep that momentum going. And so the fall festival began then. And then after a few years, it actually became the Cheese Festival, because there was a cheese factory here in town, and that same group of businessmen, which is now known as the Arthur Association of Commerce, who still sponsors this festival today, they got together and decided they'd base it around the Cheese Festival. The cheese factory was always celebrating an anniversary at that time, so it was a great way to market and such, and combine the two things together. Their anniversary and a fall celebration, and it just grew from there. We find that all 3 days are very, very different in atmosphere. Saturday is a great family day. On Saturday it is the car show, and we have the opening cheese celebration and the games and such, and the parade. On Sunday it's a little bit more laid back. On Monday we have race day, I kind of call it. We'll have a big 5K, 10K race that starts very early in the morning. The days are very different. There's lots of vendors and food and such every single day. There's a lot of hometown people that will have different fundraisers throughout the event. Today alone there was a pancake breakfast by the firemen. There's the Methodist Church, which will have a ham and bean dinner. There is the Christian Church is having an ice cream social. The Lions Club will be having a breakfast on Monday. Those are all fundraisers that those people use to funnel back into the community through many, many different ways of supporting community events throughout the year. You may not come to buy furniture while you're here today, but you're definitely going to see some beautiful handmade quality pieces, and you're going to want to come back and see what else. So today just gives you sampling, and then you get to come back. And that's why that motto on the sign as you come to town, Arthur, you're a stranger only once, goes on and on and on.
Here we go. Oh. All right, oh, good job. Oh. Now that is some of the finest broom work I've seen in a long time. Good job.
We like to have something that was really special, so we designed some games. About 1999 is when they did the first cheese curling game, which is very similar to curling that you'd see in the Olympics. It was kind of based around that idea. And so they take a 4-pound wheel of cheese and they roll it down a long track. And to get to a bullseye.
All right, we got 1,
Cheese eating is exactly that. That's a huge event. Now you might see that one somewhere else, but you won't see cheese curling at any other festival. And they group in different categories. We have a young man from Tuscola who has won that cheese eating adult category for several years. Then also on Sunday, we have incorporated cheese carving. So we have, it's about limited to 10 people. They're given 30 minutes and block of cheese to carve whatever they want out of it. So that's kind of fun too. The start time is 3:45 this year, and that's because we're celebrating 45 years as a festival. 2 years ago, it was at 3:43, and next year we know the start time is going to be at 3:46. So the start time is in the afternoon, and it's always based on the year that we are celebrating for our anniversary, so it's easy to keep track of. The thing I think I enjoy the most is lots of good festival food, but then also just getting to meet a lot of different people through it. I do happen to be the coordinator for the race that's here, and I get to meet a lot of people, but we always have a lot of the same people come back. It might be the only time I get to really see and chat with them from one year to the next, so it's always great.
a winner right here. All right.
Yay!
All right.
I'm never eating cheese again.
This facility has been in the planning for almost a decade, and we're extraordinarily excited that the time is coming where we've moved in. The last 130 years, if you think about that, we expand back clear to 1887. This is the third century that we've been in operation. It's kind of phenomenal, isn't it? One of the interesting things that we're going to see here this afternoon is we've invited all of our employees that have worked here before that have retired, and I think they represent something like 1,200 years of employment. It's an amazing amount of employment. While they work here, we always thought about building a new facility that would expand our needs and give us a larger platform to work off of.
The guy who trained me.
Yeah. Hey, I trained this guy. Now look who's wearing the suit.
It's also beveled. Yeah, see? Beveled with it.
And then end grain block that we're actually doing varnish stuff on too.
John Booz is a manufacturer of, we have two facilities. One is a woodworking manufacturing facility. We manufacture cutting boards and butcher blocks for the food service industry, as well as for a lot of home folks that enjoy the culinary arts at home. We also have a facility that manufactures stainless steel food service equipment. We've done a lot of work in the food service industry.
This new facility, what will it be able to do moving forward? What are some of the highlights of the technologies and just what's in here?
Well, the first thing it's going to do is allow us to give the space in an organized fashion, something we didn't have in our 100-year-old facility, where we, over the period of years, through the insightfulness of a lot of owners, that have added on and added on and added on. So now we're in a clear span building. It's going to help us create efficiencies, but most importantly, the technology that we've employed is, when you get to see it, it's just phenomenal how we can detect what's going on in the wood better than the human eye can detect, and all through the aid of technology.
Internet sales and things like that, we're in the process of basically being able to turn those a lot quicker than it gets to.
Yeah. That looks great.
And we still have our customers that do full truckloads, but more and more it's getting into LTL shipments and things like that, so we got to be quicker. That's the nice thing about this, is our cycle times are going to get so much better with the new plant, and just give us more capacity to go with it.
The one thing the new facility is going to allow us to do, if we look around us, this facility is on a 15-acre patch of land. The facility across the street is also our metalworking facility. It's on 12 acres. So we've been able to combine over a period of years, something we looked forward to for a long time. We have now about 250,000 square feet under roof on a 27-acre campus. We think that's really exciting because that just opens up a lot of possibilities.
It is with great honor, excitement, and anticipation that we stand here today to witness the transformation of Effingham's oldest manufacturer, John Booz & Company. I grew up with members of the Gravenhorse and Wolfer family and have been privileged to have a special vantage point as John Booz & Company has evolved and flourished. The wood manufacturing advances being deployed on this site are world class and are a classic example of why Effingham is the shining diamond in downstate Illinois.
This building is 116,000 square feet. In addition, we have a separate space for a wood burning boiler. We have our dry kilns located on the property as well. The wood burning boiler We use the wood waste generated from production to create heat, which creates steam, and we use the steam to dry our lumber. So we're in the green business, and we've been in the green business for 40 or 50 years. Over the years, we've provided a lot of employment for the community of Effingham. A lot of people have worked here, many for all their life, and we have second and third generation people working here. Maybe their grandpas worked here for a number of years, their dads worked here, and now they're working here. This addition is yet another milepost for Effingham. Something new. It shows that Effingham is thriving. Effingham County is doing well. It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family, and are extraordinarily proud that we can locate this facility here in Effingham.
I'm sure for you, with being involved with the younger bands up through the high school band, you're able to see some of the students grow through the years. What's that process like to see kids grow?
It's maybe one of the most rewarding things you can do as a band director, is to see that kid from raw form, you know, from not even knowing which end of the horn to blow into, all the way up to some of the quality that you get with some of these high school students are just amazing at what they can do. So it's a process, and it's a nice rewarding process because you get to see students from the start to the finish. And then when they graduate, then of course it's sad too, because then you've had them for so many years, and then to have them graduate, it's like, how do I replace that student? Well, you always do replace those students that graduate. So
that person, for band terms, if they were fifth chair their junior year, they might be first chair their senior
That's
year
right.
if the first chair graduated.
Step
up.
It's a constant growth from start to finish for these students. So, and that's a real rewarding experience as a band director.
Very good. You're here in Arthur at ALAH High School, and I'm sure the annexation probably had some impact, growth on the number of kids in this band here when everybody kind of merged together. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, when I first started, the band program was maybe 25, 30 students. And this past season, some 17 years later, we marched 60 this year on the field, which for a school of, they go by, during the competitions, they go by the previous year's enrollment. So we were going on the enrollment from last year, which was 286. So based on that enrollment, to have a band of 60, that's a pretty good number of kids in band in a small school. Marching band this year was amazing. Put an exclamation point on my career. We started out, we competed in four competitions. We not only play at the football games, home football games, but we also do 4 competitions. We do a number of parades during the year. Of the 4 competitions, we performed at Eastern, where we finished 3rd in our class. We performed at Newton, where we finished 1st in class. We also received 1st in music, and we also received the Miss D Crowd Appeal Award, which is given to only one group during that entire competition. So that was a first for our group this year. In Robinson, which we competed in, we finished 3rd in class, and then Effingham was the crown jewel of the competitions this year. We finished 1st in general effect, 1st in visual effect, 1st in music. We finished 1st in class, and we also received the Grand Championship Award for Class 1A, 2A. Wow. So that was an amazing accomplishment. The band, as far as I know, has never received a Grand Championship Award. So that was the exclamation point on what was a really great year.
So first, yeah, looks good to me.
Here? Yeah. I mean, they're not going to notice like a 2-inch difference.
Preston, something if you are having trouble, and you've got to remember that all this is really done in the dark.
Yeah.
So if you want these dots glow. Okay. So if you need to put a glow in the dark, use them sparingly. Like don't put glow in the dark spots all over the stage because
Those are the only ones that we probably need are on
I thought that was a tape.
no, I got dots, but they're
Rooftop
expensive.
and
So
maybe the doors.
Yeah.
Rooftop, maybe the doors opening.
this is our big spring musical. The spring musicals are famous here in Paris, Illinois. So everybody looks forward to the spring because they know it's musical time at the high school. So this is our tech week. So we're in here, we're fine tuning everything. We're just a couple weeks out. So this year we are producing Mary Poppins, which we're very excited about. It's always fun to do a Disney show and a show that people know the story and know the characters and get to come and watch it come to life on stage. Okay, we are going to run all of Act 2 tonight. Okay, we're going to start at the very top of Act 2. We're just going to run all the way through and get to curtain call. We'll do curtain call, and it'll be kind of like last night. We might jump back and forth and do some things here and there a second time. May do some stuff at the end that we need to touch up, but you know, just polishing it all up and getting it ready to go.
You must be the children. Pity. I don't suppose you know who I am?
Yes, we do. You're the Holy Terror.
Impudent boy. You're Jane, I suppose. Why aren't you wearing stockings?
I don't like them.
Tut! What manners! I can see there's not a minute to lose.
The majority know the story and know the characters and know the songs. When you pick a musical like that everybody knows and loves, it adds a little bit of pressure to it because it is one that everybody knows and loves. So you can't mess it up. But our students have really risen to the occasion and they're going to put on a really fantastic show. Move your feet, change position.
I just let it go down and then go back up.
All right, that's fine. But it's the width from the ground up is the big one.
Perhaps a smudge or two, so I today I'm a chimney sweeper. So what are you two running from?
The nastiest nanny in the world.
The nastiest nanny in the world, eh? Well, you two would know. You've been through a lot of them. Is she really as bad as all that?
First time Paris has done Mary Poppins. It's a fairly new show when it comes to Broadway. So we were looking for something that hadn't been done before, that the students would know, that the community would know, and that everybody would enjoy coming out to see. We like to pick those family fun shows that really the whole family can come out to and enjoy. This one's fun. It's got a lot of magic that happens on stage, so a lot of really cool special effects, some really cool theater moments that we're looking forward to presenting to the community. So just a really fun show all around.
I knew it! Mary Poppins, I knew you'd come back! Yes, screaming like I'm a sardine!
City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.